The last time you didn't do something, not because you couldn't, but because of what people might say. The clothes you didn't wear, the idea you kept quiet, the dream you buried because someone might laugh. If you're honest with yourself, there's a version of your life you're not living right now, and the only thing standing in the way is one question: what will they think? Here's the truth almost no one tells you. You are not truly afraid of failing. You are afraid of being watched while you fail. And that single fear, the fear of other people's opinions, has quietly controlled more of your choices than you'll ever admit. What you wore, what you said, what you chased, what you gave up on, all of it, shaped by an audience that is barely paying attention. But 2,000 years ago, a group of men found the way out. The Stoics discovered a simple, brutal truth: the opinions of other people have only the power you choose to hand them. And the day you stop begging for their approval is the day you finally become free. In this video, I'll give you 8 Stoic lessons to stop caring what people think and take your life back. Some of them will sting, but if you truly absorb even a few, you'll walk lighter than you have in years. Stay with me to the end, because the last lesson is the one that sets you completely free. And if you're done letting other people's opinions run your life, if you want to become calm, self-assured, and impossible to control, subscribe to The Silent Stoic right now. Every video here turns ancient wisdom into real strength you can use. Hit the bell too, so the next lesson finds you right when you need it. Now, let's begin. The first lesson is the foundation, and it's the one that quietly frees you from the whole game. What other people think of you was never yours to control in the first place. Epictetus, born a slave and beaten by his masters, built his entire philosophy on one dividing line: some things are in our control, and some things are not. Your actions are in your control. Your effort, your character, your response, those are yours. But another person's opinion of you? That is formed inside their head, shaped by their mood, their jealousy, their fears, their bad day, none of which you can touch. Think about how insane it is then to hand your peace to something you cannot control. You do everything right, and someone still dislikes you. You explain yourself perfectly, and they still misunderstand. You could spend your entire life trying to manage what lives inside other people's minds, and you would fail every single day because it was never your job. So here's the shift. Stop trying to control their opinion and start controlling the only thing you actually can: how you show up. Do what's right, act with integrity, and then release the rest, because their verdict is their business, not yours. The moment you truly accept that their opinion is out of your hands, a strange thing happens: it stops being able to hurt you. The second lesson exposes how lopsided this whole fear really is. You are pouring enormous energy into what people think of you, and they are barely thinking of you at all. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, caught himself in this trap and wrote it down. It never ceases to amaze me that we all love ourselves more than other people, yet we care more about their opinion of us than our own. Read that slowly. You value your own judgment less than the judgment of a crowd that is completely absorbed in itself. Because here's what's actually happening in other people's heads. They're thinking about themselves, their worries, their image, their problems, how they're being perceived. That embarrassing thing you did that you replay at night, they forgot it by dinner. The people you're terrified of impressing are lying awake, worrying about impressing someone else. You are the main character of your own story and a footnote in everyone else's. That's not sad, that's freedom. Because it means most of the judgment you fear doesn't even exist. You built an audience in your head and then performed for it your whole life. So the next time you freeze afraid of what they will think, remember, they're not thinking about you nearly as much as you imagine. Live like the audience you fear is already looking the other way, because they are. The third lesson is one of the sharpest things Epictetus ever said, and it will stop you cold. He wrote, "If a person gave your body to any stranger he met, you would be angry. Yet you hand over your mind to anyone who insults you, to be disturbed and confused. Are you not ashamed of that? You would never let a random stranger control your body, but you let random strangers control your mind every single day. A cruel comment from someone you'll never meet again ruins your afternoon. A raised eyebrow from someone you don't even respect makes you shrink. You're handing the keys to your inner peace to people you wouldn't take a single piece of life advice from. So ask the question the Stoics would ask. Whose opinion is this, exactly? Is this a person of wisdom and character, someone living a life you'd actually want? Or is it just noise from someone bitter, someone idle, someone who has never once tried to do the hard thing you're doing? The opinions of the wise are worth weighing. The opinions of everyone else are just weather, loud, passing and powerless unless you decide to stand in the storm. Guard your mind. Not everyone has earned a vote in how you feel about yourself. The fourth lesson gives you something to replace the crowd with. Because if you stop measuring yourself by other people's approval, you need your own standard, an inner scorecard. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." He wasn't talking about escaping to a mountain. He was talking about building a place inside yourself, a set of values so clear and so solid that no outside opinion can shake it. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you don't need the crowd to tell you you're okay. Most men live by an outer scorecard. Did they like me? Did I look good? Did I win their approval? And because that scorecard lives in other people's hands, they can never rest. One bad reaction and their whole sense of self collapses. But the man with an inner scorecard asks a different question. Did I act according to my values? Was I honest, disciplined, courageous by my own standard? If the answer is yes, he sleeps soundly no matter what anyone says. If it's no, he corrects it, even if the whole world is applauding. So decide, clearly, what kind of man you're trying to be. Write your values down, and start measuring your days against that, not against the shifting opinions of people who haven't even thought it through. When your scorecard is internal, you become unshakable. The fifth lesson names the trap for what it is. The fear of being judged is not a wall the world built around you. It's a prison you built yourself, and you've been holding the key the whole time. Epictetus taught that men are not disturbed by things, but by their opinions about things. It's not the judgment itself that cripples you, it's the story you tell yourself about what that judgment means. If they think I'm a fool, I am nothing. If they laugh, I can't recover. You've made other people's imagined opinions into a matter of life and death, and then locked yourself inside that fear. But look closely at the bars of this prison, and you'll see they're made of nothing. What actually happens if someone judges you? You feel a flash of discomfort, and then life goes on. No one dies, the sky doesn't fall. The judgment you spent weeks dreading turns out to be a moment that passes like every other. The Stoics trained themselves to walk straight into that discomfort on purpose, to do the thing that might invite judgment, and discover it couldn't actually harm them. Every time you act despite the fear, a bar of the prison dissolves. So test it. Do one small thing today that you'd normally avoid out of fear of what people think. Speak up, wear it, try it, and watch the prison reveal itself for what it always was, imaginary. The sixth lesson asks something hard of you. Be willing to look foolish. Epictetus said it directly. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. That's not a suggestion, it's the price of growth. Because here's the trap. Every time you try something new, a new path, a new business, a new version of yourself, you will be clumsy at first, and people will notice. They'll doubt you, question you, maybe mock you. And if you cannot bear to be misunderstood, you will quit the moment their eyes land on you. You'll stay small and respectable your whole life, and call it safety. The strongest men accept a simple deal. They would rather be misunderstood while becoming who they're meant to be, than be admired for staying who they were. They let people misjudge them. They let people underestimate them. They know the crowd's understanding always arrives late, long after the work is done. You cannot be both fully understood and fully free. The path to anything great runs straight through a valley where people don't get it yet, so let them not get it. Let them think you're strange for waking early, for going quiet, for choosing the hard road. Their confusion is not your problem. Your growth is. Be content to be misunderstood. It's the toll you pay on the road to becoming who you actually are. The seventh lesson catches the trap most men miss. When we talk about not caring what people think, everyone focuses on criticism. But the same door that lets in criticism also lets in praise, and praise is the sweeter, more dangerous chain. Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly. Ambition means tying your well-being to what other people say or do. Sanity means tying it to your own actions. If applause can lift you to the sky, then the absence of applause can drop you into the ground. If you live for praise, you have simply chosen a prettier master, but you are still owned. Watch what happens to the man addicted to approval. He chooses the path that gets claps, not the path that's right. He performs instead of living. He can't make a hard, unpopular decision because he needs the crowd to smile. He's just as controlled as the man who fears criticism, maybe more, because his chains feel good. True freedom is being unmoved by both. Take the compliment lightly, take the insult lightly. Let neither one decide your worth, because your worth was decided by your own standard. Remember, not the crowd's mood. When praise no longer owns you, no one can buy you, and no one can bait you. Enjoy praise, but don't need it. The moment you can walk away from applause, you're finally free. And here is the eighth lesson, the one that puts the entire fear into its final freeing perspective. Every opinion you're afraid of will one day turn to dust, and so will the people holding them, and so in time will you. Marcus Aurelius, ruling an empire that felt eternal, reminded himself constantly of this. He wrote that Alexander the Great and his mule driver were both leveled by death, and the same fate met them both. The applause of the crowd, the judgment of the room, the reputation you're bleeding yourself dry to protect, in the vast stretch of time, all of it vanishes. The people whose opinions keep you up at night will be forgotten, and so will their opinions. This isn't meant to make you feel small, it's meant to set you free. Because if none of it lasts, if every judgment is temporary, and every judge is passing through just like you, then why hand your one short life over to their approval? Why shrink? Why perform? Why wait for permission from people who are as fleeting as you are? You have a limited number of days. You can spend them managing the opinions of a crowd that will forget you, or you can spend them living boldly and honestly as the man you actually are. So let the opinions turn to dust. Let the judgment pass. And in the time you have, become someone you respect, because in the end, yours is the only opinion you'll take with you. So there they are. 8 Stoic lessons to stop caring what people think and take your life back. Their opinion was never in your control. You overvalue a judgment they barely hold. Stop handing your mind to people you don't respect. Build an inner scorecard. See the prison of fear for what it is. Accept being misunderstood. Don't be a slave to praise either. And remember, in the end, all of it turns to dust. You won't master this overnight. Freedom from other people's opinions is a muscle, built one bold choice at a time. So pick one thing today, one place where fear of judgment has been running your life, and act anyway. That single act is where your freedom begins. You were not put here to live inside other people's heads. You were put here to live. If this gave you something real, hit like so it reaches another man who needs to hear it. And subscribe to walk this path with us, one lesson at a time. You have everything you need. Now go and live like they're not watching, because they're not. See you in the next one. Stay unshaken.